Welcome to NHL Hockey News Reports, and today we are talking about all 31 reasons for all 31 NHL teams to make the playoffs. Last one was the negatives. We're going to end with positives. I don't want to talk about negative as much. So let's get into the positives now. 1 to 31 and all 31 NHL teams. So if you have your team in here, or you like the team in the NHL, it's in here. Let's get into it. So first of all, let's start with the Montreal Canadiens. Carey Price and Rebel are healthy, and the young core A++. I'm talking about Paling. I'm talking about Suzuki. Those guys, not just those guys, but the younger, just in the early 20s, like Mate, Lehkonen. Don't know. He's 26. So I guess I can put that in there. A couple other guys, saying the young, they can do that stuff. Definitely good young core. Excuse me there. Wow, okay. Sorry, everyone. So let's get into the next one. Next one is the Blackhawks, and the Blackhawks goalies Crawford and Leno, A+. Great combination between both of them. Just like how Leno had Leno and Grice, same thing, Crawford and Grice. So good. Crawford and Leno, I'm sorry. So, fantastic there. And then defense would just look fine. So, Keefe is, having good year. Seabrook is coming off a bounce back somehow in his older age. Mott is looking good. DeHaan's looking good. And defense looks fantastic. Moving on to the Flyers. Hart becomes the starter goalie. Plays fantastic. Elliott is the backup goaltender. Good complimentary right there. And then forwards and defense, A+, all the moves they made for Diskinen, getting Braun, getting Kevin Hayes as the forward. Other ones really makes a great team, and they do fantastic. They get to the playoffs. Moving on to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Marno signs before the season starts. And why do I say before the season starts? Because kind of like with the Nylander thing, he didn't play good after, December 1st. So I think if they want to make the playoffs and do good stuff, maybe December 1st they would still make it. But before the season, they'll really get the most out of Mitch Marner. Moving on to the next one. Great defense leads to glory. So I'm talking about Riley, Barry, CC, potential Gardner. Let's put them in there. Gardner, other ones definitely Harper. You great guys that have been doing really good. Definitely good defense, and it's better than previous years with the Maple Leafs. Looking at the Red Wings, so Howard gets on a roll like last year, in the beginning of last year, does that for the whole season, fantastic job. The team does it. Young core excels, so Larkin and Facile, Mantha, Zadina, Rasmussen, Snetchikov, those guys, again he's Snetchikov, not Andrei Snetchikov, that's part of the Hurricanes. Definitely fantastic. In the defense, Hronek works out definitely for them. Chalewski works out, does everything great for them. Moving on to the Wild, last great push with the veteran core. So I'm talking about the veteran core of Sacco. Oh my goodness, what am I gonna say? Sacco Koivu, Mikko Koivu, Alex Starr, Zach Parise, Sudo, Dupnuk, he's 32, but he's getting up there now. Not up there, but he's in the early 30s, but still put in there. The veteran core is getting older, and they're gonna win, and they do it. Well, they get to the playoffs, trying to do one more push. Moving on to the Penguins, Crosby and Malkin, incredible season. Just absolutely fantastic, definitely. And trades work out A+. So Cahoon worked out. That worked out absolutely fantastic. Galchenyuk worked out fantastic. Over Kessel, everything worked out good. Moving on to the Capitals. This is like the best case scenario I'm talking about. So this is like Cinderella stories for all 31 teams. We went on to the Capitals. Ovi, another fantastic another Richard trophy, Maurice Richard trophy. Great depth. I'm talking about Heffley, Pionk, those guys. Hagelin, great depth. Definitely bring some good depth, and they do a good job getting to the playoffs. Moving on to Calgary Flames. Goalies work out just fine. So I'm talking about Riddick and Talbot looked fantastic. Doubters get pushed away, saying Talbot's pretty good, and they do pretty good. And then Lucic looked better than they thought. So he was just a great upside and a great pleasant surprise after people saying his $6 million contract. You know what I mean? So instead of saying that, he did pretty well, and he didn't put around 50, but maybe around 30. But still, a good season for him. Let's be realistic about Lucic. Okay, Oilers. Great goalie combo again. So Koskinen and Smith play really well together. Smith helping out Koskinen, saying this is how things go, the ropes go, and Smith plays and Koskinen do great together. McDavid and the forwards go to glory. So I'm talking about all the forwards work fantastic together, and it becomes amazing somehow. Moving on to the Vancouver Canucks. Great depth makes it hard to win against them. So it's hard to win against them, isn't it? With that great depth of Ferlin, Belchich, Sutter, if you want to put that in there. Just so many other ones. There's so many great depth pieces on the forward depth. Great job. Moving on to the Vegas Golden Knights. Calls him back to 40 goals. He's pushing it like a Spanish Neil. He's doing it, and he does a fantastic job. Dallas Stars, Pavelski, and Perry, just what they needed to get to the playoffs. That extra push, that forward depth they needed, just enough they needed. Bishop, outstanding, and then now they have Pavelski and Perry, worked out fantastic. Sakara and the defense, boom, it looks really good. Okay, the Panthers coach Q makes the team successful. The scoring is working, the defense is working, the goaltending is working, everything is working. It just becomes incredible, and this team looks like a contender, definitely. Islanders moving on, scoring increases. Okay, the scoring improves, goes up. And that helps by having Lee, Barzell, Emberly, Nelson, Nielsen. No, he's not with the team. Sorry about that. Moving on to the next one. Boston Bruins top line explodes again. Keeps exploding. Absolutely fantastic. Vasquez is on fire. Does a fantastic job. Moving on to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Just great again. You know what I mean? But this time they go farther. Hopefully. Moving on to the LA Kings. Quick back in business. So he's trying to be that guy like he was in his early part of his career. And he looks pretty good after having a down season last year. Moving on to the Buffalo Sabres. Buffalo goalies work out great. So Hutton and Allmark, great combo. Didn't just work for the beginning, worked for the whole season. And they feel much better together, and it's working out pretty good. And the forwards and defense are working out great. Nashville, the power play improves dramatically, and with Duchesne, so this is absolutely fantastic. It pushes them higher up in the standings. Fabro works for them. So's taking over Rene, a little bit more each season, so definitely that's working out for them. Moving on to the Blues. Repeat of last year, so they're trying to repeat just like they did last year for a whole season. But they're going to try the best and keep on going. Rangers. Youngster work out. Not work out like fitness. They work, the whole thing works out. But Kako, Hedel, not just rookies. Kravtsov, Fox, Gurgiev, those guys, Brett Howden, Elias Anderson, all those guys work out fantastic, and the team just back in the playoffs. Ever since the McDonough, Nash, Stepan, whole age core, Moving on to the Arizona Coyotes. Kessel brings what they needed. That scoring, that help out Keller, helps out Stepan, helps out the whole team, and it helps them score more goals. So the defensive team, so they got Kessel as that pure goal scorer, and definitely he helps with the tickets too. We're selling more in the arena. Moving on to the Sharks. Sorry about that. Sharks, and it's Jones back to normal like he did in the previous years. Not last year, years before then when he was perfect, literally. So he's back to that, and the team is fantastic. So the team goes on a great run. Moving on to the Avalanche. The whole forward lines, 1 through 4 lines, score at least 10 to 15 goals around that. So they do fantastic. The whole team just has a breakout year. Forward depth is absolutely fantastic this time, and it works out. Young forwards take over. Max Comswa, Kase, Steele, Lundstrom, etc., Malhotra. Those guys on defense works out for them perfectly, and the back in the playoffs for a little mini rebuild in 1 year. Blue Jackets, they prove to everyone wrong that they're not a horrible team. They still made the playoffs, so guess what? Even if we don't have Panarin, even though we don't have Bobrovsky, even though we don't have Duchesne or Dzingel, like Dzingel helped, or he just didn't like John Tortorella's coaching way. They went to the playoffs with Pierre-Luc Dubois, Atkinson. It just works out. Definitely Walensky. The whole thing works out. Corposano, McCurtains works out for them. Definitely. Fantastic. Moving on to the Jets. The defense works out better than they thought of. So losing Sherratt, Miles, Trouba, losing those guys was a disappointment. But things started looking good. Like the youngsters like Niku, Pionk. Guys like that looks really good. And with Morrissey looks absolutely fantastic in Bufflin. So, looked better than I thought it would be, and it works out great for them. Moving on to the Devils, Hughes, franchise player in the future, so they just realized this guy is our franchise player. Only his rookie year, but they're like, this guy right here, he's our next guy. Watch out, everyone. He's going to beat you. Alright, moving on to the Ottawa Senators. Tkachuk and Shabbat excel together, and not just that, Balslers, Batterson, White, those guys, the young core just works fantastic, and people get proved wrong that they went to the playoffs. And Carolina, Storm Surge works every time, so every time they win, they do a storm surge. It works for them. So thank you for watching. There's all 31 reasons why. All 31 reasons for all 31 NHL teams to make the playoffs. I will do another video before the end of tonight, and I'll see you next video. Bye. Let's get to 150 subs. 9 more. Let's get there. Bye.